On my first try at applying for Erasmus Mundus, I actually received an interview invitation for the Food Innovation and Product Design program. The moment I saw that email, I was overjoyed. It felt like I was already one step closer to my dream of studying in Europe. And in that moment, I allowed myself to imagine it coming true. At that time, I didn't know any fellow Filipinos who were currently studying in the program. I was essentially navigating the whole process alone, though I did get some guidance from my PhD friends. Going into the interview, I tried to stay calm, but I had no real idea what to expect. The interview itself was a mix of excitement and anxiety. They asked me a range of technical questions about food research and development, as well as leadership related questions. I remember being asked about my definition of leadership, how I would adapt to a new environment, what my final research project, and my plans after graduation. The pressure during the interview was intense. I felt nervous and it showed. I stuttered a few times, made some grammatically incorrect statements, and my answers lacked clarity in parts. I just wasn't as composed as I had hoped to be. To make matters worse, when the interviewer asked if I had any questions at the end, I froze. I didn't ask anything, which, looking back, was a missed opportunity to show my engagement and curiosity. After the interview, I couldn't shake off the feeling that I hadn't done well. I prayed and hoped for the best, but deep down, I knew I hadn't given my best performance. Still, I let go and trusted that if it was meant to be, things would work out. Then came the long wait, about 1 to 2 months, before the results were finally announced. When the email came in, my heart sank as I read the words, "You are on the waiting list." I hadn't secured the Erasmus Mundus scholarship. It felt like the end of the world. I hadn't put in so much effort and gotten so close, only to fall short. But in time, I realized that hitting rock bottom wasn't the end of my journey. It was the beginning of a new phase. That moment of defeat made me stronger, more resilient, and above all, more determined. The people around me, my family, friends, and mentors, encouraged me to stand up again and improve. I didn't let that setback define me. Instead, I started working harder to refine my application for the next year. The three things that I learned from this experience are the following. First, never get too comfortable after an interview invitation. Just because you have made it that far doesn't mean that it will be given to you. They interview many applicants, sometimes only choosing one or none from a particular country. You're not just competing with others from your region, you're competing globally. Second, if you don't succeed, don't dwell on the disappointment. It's natural to feel defeated, but the key is not to stay in that state. Learn from the experience, ask for advice from current or former students, and figure out what the program values. Use that knowledge to improve your application. Take extra courses, publish articles, and revise your motivation letter to better reflect your growth. Third, keep trying. If it doesn't happen this year, it could be next year's blessing. Sometimes all it takes is persistence and faith. Looking back, that first failure shaped my journey in ways I couldn't have imagined. It wasn't a setback. It was the fuel that drove me to push harder and ultimately succeed.